Ladies, let's talk about being our authentic selves. Now, I want to give a little bit of background about why I want to do a video about being authentic or authenticity. So the letter for today is A, and A stands for authenticity. Say that 3 times fast. I couldn't myself, but nonetheless, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, we were talking the other day, and she, made this announcement. I've noticed that as me and my friends are kind of getting older and kind of figuring out who we are, the making of announcements is a lot more commonplace. So it doesn't really surprise me. I make my own announcements on occasion. So she said, you know what? In 2013, I am going to be more authentic. I'm going to be my authentic self, and I'm going to express myself authentically. And I said, amen, girl. Let's take it back to the 90s with some snaps. So when she said that, I was very proud of her, because she is the type of woman, which is like a lot of women, in that she's not really a people pleaser. She just likes being liked. Nobody wants to be considered the bitch or the jerk or mean or rude or, whatever name that you get that's unpleasant by somebody who feels like they don't care for you for whatever reason. So when she said that, I was very proud of her, and I wanted to support her in her authenticity. But after we spoke, I was doing some thinking, and I realized that a lot of women in particular want to be their authentic selves. They want to be more authentic. They want to, keep it real, for lack of a better term or phrase. And oftentimes they need permission. So what I decided to do was, if you're not going to give yourself permission to be more authentic, I'll do it for you. So what I'm doing, ladies, for 2013, my New Year's gift to you is I'm giving you permission to be your authentic self. Now, I do realize that when you're dealing with people who haven't been their authentic self for quite some time, or who've only been themselves authentically in pockets, you may not really know what that means. So as someone who made a personal decision, I don't know, a few years ago, to be authentic and just to be myself authentically, I feel like I can share some tips, just some things that I do in order to work to remain authentic. Because something that my good friend just recently found out is, yes, you can decide to be authentic, but the act of actually being authentic is not as easy as you would think. Like, yes, you do think of course it's easy being me, like I am me. But when you decide to be your authentic self, you have to do a little bit of personal legwork. So something that she's doing and she's figuring out, as we discovered when we were out having dinner not too long after she made her authentic announcement, is being authentic, first of all, requires some self introspection or self-reflection, because you have to figure out who you are in order to be your authentic self. So you have to do some talking to yourself, some thinking about yourself and how you handle things, and in doing that, you have to decide what it is that you want. You have to decide what it is that makes you happy, and you have to decide what it is that you're trying to accomplish as a person. Now, oftentimes what people do in that kind of exploration is they kind of turn to their job or their career path in order to define themselves, and that's dangerous, especially for anyone. If you're an entrepreneur, if you work for a company, if you have this great job, it's dangerous, because your career path can change as you change, and it can change over time. I mean, if you work for a company, say you're this high-powered attorney, and so being your authentic self means fully pursuing your legal career, and something could happen where you have this one situation and you decide you no longer want to be an attorney. So you're basically put in a tailspin, because you're trying to decide, okay, well, who am I if I'm no longer an attorney? So what I like to suggest is, when you're doing your introspection and your self-reflection, as many of us are doing, at the very beginning of the new year, we're going to vision board parties, we're making resolutions, we're making goals for the year, we're doing all of these things to kind of prepare ourselves to have a wonderful 2013. You need to figure out who you are as yourself. As you know, they say the cheese stands alone. You know, you as you are, stripped of your career, stripped of your mate. You can't define yourself by your husband or your wife. Stripped of your children. So yes, you being a mother, you being a wife, you being you know, of a certain career, yes, that is a part of you, and that does contribute to the definition of who you are. But if all of those things were gone for whatever reason, if all of those things were no longer there, and you were standing there as you are, you know, naked for all intents and purposes, who are you? So that really speaks to the core of your being. And when you can make a decision about who you are, then when you begin to live your authentic self, it feels really natural. And then it's really easy being you. So stay tuned, because what I'm going to do is do a couple of videos just kind of giving some tips about some ways that I work to stay my authentic self in my interactions with others, but also in my interaction with myself. So hopefully this is helpful to you. I hope that you take the permission that I'm granting to you as my gift to you for the new year, and you start to work on being your authentic self. So ladies, I look forward to the next time that we speak again.